They've told you your whole life that hard work is the only answer. That if you just wake up earlier, stay longer, suffer quietly, and push harder than everyone else, success will finally be yours. They've taught you this idea like a strong belief. That pain makes you good, that rest is lazy, and that your big dreams are measured by how much you burn yourself out. But what if this hard work mindset is actually keeping you from having real power? Because Machiavelli, a master architect of power, didn't just praise hard work. He studied it, and he understood a difficult truth. The easiest person to control is the one who believes suffering is noble. Not because they're weak, but because they're so busy proving their worth that they never stop to question the system that quietly uses them. This is the energy trap, and it's not just a common idea. It's a tool used against you, and the more disciplined, committed, and hard-working you are, the deeper it affects you. Chapter 1. Your Foundation. Why Effort Can Trap You. Let's begin with the first layer of this trap: mistaking endless effort for real value. In Machiavelli's world, power wasn't given to those who worked the most. It was for those who understood how to get the most done with smart moves. Yet here you are, taught to believe that working hard alone is sacred. You're told to put in more hours, give up more personal time, take fewer breaks. You're not lazy, you're loyal. But loyal to what? To a machine that quietly benefits from your exhaustion. This is like building a beautiful house for someone else, always hoping for a slightly better room in it. The system knows if it keeps dangling the next reward, the next big success, the next small bit of praise, you'll keep working tirelessly, like a builder chasing a perfect vision they never fully own. Machiavelli would call this a clever trick. Make people feel important through their effort, and they won't even notice they're stuck. Not because they're weak, but because they've linked their very identity to the act of working. And that's the trap. When your sense of who you are is built on being a hard worker, you'll defend constant effort even when it's hurting you. You'll see resting as lazy. You'll see being calm as failing. And worst of all, you'll quietly dislike anyone who seems to get results more easily, even if they succeed, because deep down, you've been taught that struggle equals goodness. But Machiavelli would see through that. He didn't believe in fair. He believed in results. And he understood. The people truly in charge aren't the ones working the hardest. They're the ones working the smartest, on you. If you're ready to build your own monument of power, not just a small house for someone else, hit that like button now. Your support helps us share these transformative strategies. And for more wisdom on mastering your energy, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Your journey to unseen power starts here. Chapter 2. The Blueprint. Why Smart Work Trumps Hard Work. Now let's peel back the second layer of this trap, making you proud of being used. Think about this for a moment. You start early. You stay late. You answer messages at odd hours. You say yes when you want to say no. And what do you get? Praise. Not real power. Recognition. Not true ownership. They give you small rewards, like Employee of the Month, a slightly bigger office, a gift card, as if that makes up for all the energy they've taken from you over years. And here's the Machiavellian twist. You're told this means you're valuable, but you're not just valuable in their terms. You're easily replaceable if you're too willing. Because true value isn't based on how hard you work, it's based on how hard you are to control. The more obsessed you are with showing your work ethic, the less likely you are to question authority, to ask for more, to walk away. That's by design. Because the ideal worker isn't the most skilled, it's the one who believes sacrifice is a good thing. They don't have to force you, they just have to make you willing. This is what Machiavelli would respect, not for moral reasons, but for smart strategy. He understood that if you can convince someone that their struggle is important, you can guide them without needing to hold them back. You can use their energy without them feeling bad. You can use them for a lifetime, and they'll even thank you for the chance. Now let's get to the darkest part. The energy trap isn't just external, it becomes part of you. Even when there's no boss, no deadline, no one watching, you still push yourself. Why? Because now it's not about achieving something outward. It's about avoiding the feeling of being lazy or worthless. That's when the trap is complete. You're no longer chasing success. You're running away from guilt. You've been programmed to feel bad when you rest, lazy when you pause, guilty when you're not doing something productive. And in that mental prison, you become your own strict guard. You overwork yourself not because someone asked you to, but because your own self-respect is now tied to always being tired, and you think that makes you strong. But it doesn't. It makes you predictable, which means you can be easily steered, changed, and used without ever realizing it. That's the true genius of the energy trap. It doesn't break your body, it breaks your sense of what truly matters. So what would Machiavelli advise? He wouldn't tell you to stop working. He'd tell you to stop being proud of being used. To understand that effort without a clear advantage for you is like working for someone else, hidden as your own goal. That a person obsessed with proving their worth is easy to trick. And that real power isn't found in sacrifice, it's found in smart planning. You don't win by working harder, you win by understanding who benefits when you do, and then deciding whether they still deserve that benefit. Because once you wake up from the idea that working hard always equals value, you stop being a tool, and you start becoming a powerful force. The real power doesn't belong to the ones who sweat. It belongs to the ones who decide why you're sweating. Chapter 3: Building Your Monument. Escape the hustle illusion. You see it everywhere. The successful entrepreneur talks about working 100-hour weeks. The speaker shouts about working while others sleep. The corporate boss gives just enough praise to keep you wanting to work harder. But all of it serves the same hidden purpose: to make your exhaustion look like your ambition. It's not. It's following rules packaged as pride. This is what Machiavelli saw in every powerful empire. The best way to control people isn't through force, it's through belief. If you can make people believe that working hard for you is in their best interest, they will manage themselves. And here's how the trap gets tighter. You're told that resting means falling behind, that taking a break means someone else will pass you, that if you stop, someone hungrier will take your place. But Machiavelli would ask, who told you that? And what do they gain by making you believe it? Because here's what they'll never admit. The truly powerful don't just hustle, they design the hustle. They build systems, they set up traps. They feed dreams to the masses, dreams that keep you running on a treadmill, believing you're climbing a staircase. And they know exactly how to make you blame yourself when you get tired. You think, maybe I didn't want it badly enough. Or maybe I didn't work hard enough. Or even, maybe I just need to suffer more. You blame yourself, never realizing that the game was set up against you from the start. Because the truth is, no amount of hard work can replace smart positioning, and no amount of sacrifice can override a well-built system. Machiavelli wrote that people must either be used or broken. And in the modern world, being used feels safer, because at least it comes with some praise, some recognition, some comfort, but it still leaves you tired, empty, and easy to replace. And the worst part? You might start judging others who won't join the game. You judge the person who rests. You dislike the person who refuses to work endless hours. You make fun of those who choose peace over pressure. Because deep down, if their choice is valid, yours starts to feel like a mistake. So you defend your effort, because you've confused it with who you are. But Machiavelli would cut through all of that. He'd say, the person who must constantly prove their worth through suffering has already lost it. Real power doesn't live in just working hard. It lives in the ability to choose not to say no, to change your path, to change the rules, or to build your own system completely. And this doesn't mean being lazy. This means making smart, planned moves. A king doesn't build the castle brick by brick. He directs, he plans, he brings others together around his vision. Because his power doesn't come from physical labor, it comes from mental influence. Ask yourself, when was the last time your hard work made you truly rich? Not your boss, not your client, you. And if the answer is never or barely, then you haven't been working smart. You've been like a mine, having your energy taken. You were convinced to trade your energy, your years, your health, for what? A ladder they own? A system you didn't design? A reward that disappears when things get tough or change? This is why Machiavelli warned leaders to control what people believe, not just what they do. Because once people believe that sacrifice is the right thing, you no longer have to force them to obey. They'll work harder than you could ever demand. They'll burn themselves out just to help someone else succeed. And they'll feel proud doing it. So what's the escape? You have to become powerful in a new way. Not by working harder, not by shouting louder, but by being the one in the room who's not desperate to prove themselves. When others brag about how little they sleep, you stay quiet. When others show off their long workdays, you calmly ask what it's truly achieving. And when someone says, you just have to keep pushing, you look them in the eye and say, or I can build something where I don't have to. This isn't arrogance. It's true independence. You've stopped believing that suffering makes you good. And in doing so, you've made yourself untouchable. Because the person who needs nothing from the system cannot be controlled by it. And the person who doesn't flinch when called lazy, the person who doesn't crave approval through overwork, that person is powerful. Not because they reject effort, but because they know exactly when to walk away from pointless struggle. They work, but they work to own, not to serve. They try hard, but only for something that can't be taken from them. And they understand what most never will. That freedom isn't found in how hard you push. It's found in what you refuse to push for. The clever trick of the energy trap is that it doesn't just make you tired, it distracts you. While you're chasing perfection in your work, arguing for raises, managing your time, and linking your self-worth to how much you can endure, the real power players are moving in silence. They're not asking how to work more, they're asking, who can I get to work for me? This is the Machiavellian mind, calm, clear, unaffected by common beliefs. While most people compete to be seen as the hardest working, the strategist competes for influence, ownership, and leverage, the things that actually decide how much work truly matters. But here's the hard truth. Most people never escape the energy trap because they're addicted to the identity it gives them. They don't know who they are outside of it. The constant effort isn't just a schedule, it's become their personality. I don't have time to rest. I'm always working. I'm busy chasing the dream. But what is that dream? For many, it's unclear. Just some vague idea of success that never quite arrives. It's not owned, it's not defined, it's just chased. This is what Machiavelli would call misdirected ambition, when your strong desire to succeed becomes the very thing that ensures you never truly will. You become easy to predict, easy to use, easy to feed. They give you tasks, and you call it progress. They give you promotions, and you call it growth. They give you visibility, and you call it legacy. But all they've done is keep you chasing, instead of stopping long enough to realize you're on a leash. Here's the Machiavellian shift. Stop thinking like a laborer. Start thinking like a king. A king doesn't ask, how can I work more hours? He asks, how can I build something that outlasts me? How can I make others align with my goals without ever needing to command them? It's not about avoiding work. It's about moving from working with your hands to working with your mind. Because effort alone is common. But vision? That's rare. That's what people will follow, fund, and protect. So ask yourself, what have you built that cannot be taken? What system do you own that works even when you don't? What are you doing that actually multiplies your time, rather than drains it? Because if your effort only works when you show up, then you don't own your time. You've just leased your body. And that's the quiet trap of modern ambition, the illusion of progress, while you remain stuck. Now here's the next level, social influence. You're not just trapped by your own mindset. You're trapped by the people around you who are addicted to the same game. They brag about not sleeping. They make constant effort seem romantic. They make you feel guilty for taking a break. They judge your worth by how busy you seem. And because you don't want to appear soft, you perform for them. You suffer, visibly. You stay busy, loudly. You fit in, quietly, all while believing you're different. But you're not different. You're just another player in a system that feeds on your need to be seen. The Machiavellian doesn't play this game. He doesn't compete on who is best. He competes on results. And when everyone else is working hard for applause, he's working hard for lasting structure. When others are chasing praise, he's building something they'll one day beg to be part of. Because here's the truth. No one will remember how hard you worked. They'll remember what you built. Not how long you sat in front of a screen, not how many late nights you pulled, but what you left behind when you were done. And if all you leave behind is a legacy of exhaustion, of constant striving, of never enough, then you were not free. You were just well behaved. And the world doesn't reward simple obedience, it uses it. So from this point forward, you must change your path. You stop measuring your value by hours. You start measuring it by impact. You stop competing for public attention. You start designing systems that make you important. You stop selling your time like a powerless person. You start moving like an owner, even if all you own is a single smart idea. Because once you do, everything shifts. You no longer panic when others seem to work more than you. You no longer chase speed, you chase scale. And you no longer need praise, because you've built something that speaks louder than your voice ever could. And that's when you escape the trap. Not because you stopped working, but because you finally started working for yourself. Here's what they'll never teach you. The people at the top don't just hustle for power. They design systems where everyone else hustles for them. They build invisible ladders, and they let others get exhausted trying to climb them. Because they know, it's not about how hard you work. It's about where your work goes. And for most people, it goes upward, feeding someone else's lasting success. You build. You sacrifice. You give everything. And at the end, you don't own what you made. You were just a part of it. This is what Machiavelli would call a functional tool. Useful, ambitious, even brilliant, but ultimately replaceable. Why? Because tools are focused on movement, but masters are focused on position. And if you're always moving, always pushing, always reacting, you never have time to think long enough to ask, where is this actually taking me? That's not a flaw. It's the design. The more they keep you busy, the less dangerous you are. Because quiet thinking is what reveals strategy, and they can't afford for you to get strategic. So they praise constant effort. They make it look cool. They build an entire image around working hard. They make you wear your exhaustion like a medal. And in that blur of activity, they never have to worry that you'll see what's truly happening. Here's the Machiavellian secret. The most powerful move isn't working more. It's making your work count more than anyone else's. Because your time is limited, your energy is limited. But your structure, that's limitless. A strong boundary will protect you longer than a sleepless night. A single no can give you more freedom than a year of saying yes. And one smart system, one strong network, one ownership plan can replace thousands of hours of pointless effort. But most people never reach that. Why? Because they're afraid of what happens if they stop moving. They fear quietness. They fear missing out. They fear becoming unimportant. And most of all, they fear facing the truth. They've built their identity around being useful to someone else's machine. And once you see that clearly, you have a choice to make. Do you keep running? Or do you stop, calmly, strongly, and start building your own lasting monument? This is where you start to challenge the system. When you stop playing in their game and start designing your own, you begin setting rules, choosing what you focus on, picking your battles, and watching how others, still caught in the endless effort, make fun of you, doubt you, question your calm. But you won't flinch, because you've moved beyond just trying hard. You've entered design, where your decisions aren't quick reactions. They're intentional. Where you don't work hard for freedom, You design freedom first and let your effort follow only if it amplifies that freedom. And most won't understand that. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you didn't earn it. They'll tell you that real work means pain and stress. But Machiavelli would just smile. Because the ones who make fun of freedom are usually the ones most afraid to claim it for themselves. Here's how to ensure your transformation continues. Hit the like button if this deep dive into Machiavellian wisdom has helped you understand how to build power beyond endless effort. Your support helps share these vital lessons. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Your journey to mastering unseen influence and becoming a master architect of energy begins now. I'll see you in the next build.